Everyone. Welcome to the Exec Cabinet Member for Stronger Communities meeting today. We have got officers and councillors on the call, and just so I can do introductions and people watching this live, pre-recorded at some point. So if we can all introduce yourselves. There's no particular order. I'm literally going to go off the screen. And then Ian, if you could just take me through the apologies as and when. So Councillor Rabia Jiva, Ian, introduction, please.
Ian Mulholland, Democratic Services.
Thank you, Janet.
Good evening, I'm Janet Pollard. I'm the Head of Finance.
Brilliant. Phil.
Hi, Phil Ringmer, Assistant Director for Revenues, Benefits and Customer Services.
Thank you. Tracy.
Tracy Wilkinson, Councillor for Kersley Ward.
Thank you. Peter.
Councillor Peter Wright, Howick South and Blackwood Ward.
Thank you. Andrea.
And Andrea Hayes, Principal Policy Officer, Strategy, Policy and Area Working Team.
Thank you. Callum.
Good evening, everyone. Callum Gaskell, Strategy and Policy Manager in Corporate Resources.
Thank you. Amy.
Oops, Councillor Amy Cowan, Bromley Cross Ward.
Thank you. Mark.
Mark Aspin, Assistant Director, Community Safety and Housing.
Excellent. Charlotte.
Councillor Charlotte Moncado says from Horwich North Ward.
Thank you. Andrew.
Good evening. I'm Andrew Williamson, Deputy Director of Corporate Resources.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And any apologies, Ian?
Just Councillor H. Alley and Councillor Sears is in place. The only other member due on is Councillor Vivers, who's accepted the invite but has not appeared yet.
Okay, so if he does come on, if you let me know, because I will have my screen minimised, but we will get him introduced or noted. Thank you very much. So we'll go straight to business. So Ian, monitoring of decisions.
Yes, the usual report for this meeting. There's one item on, everything else is up to date, and that's marked as complete. So that'll come off after this meeting. So that the report is just for noting.
Please, can we note that? Thank you. And then are we going with Janet's or Andrea or Callum's items? Which item are we going?
It's the finance one next, yeah.
Yes. So Janet, if we could go through the finance report, just to know all documentations have been circulated to all councillors prior to the meeting. Any questions, Janet? Obviously, at the end, if we can ask Janet, that'll be easier, so we can go through the paper properly, and then we can open it up to questions. Janet, is that okay?
That's fine. Thank you very much, Chair.
Over to yourself.
Thank you very much. So this report for the Directorate of Corporate Resources follows the Council's full budget report in February to Council and represents the final stage of the corporate business planning process for the financial year 26-27. The report outlines changes in the revenue budget, resulting in a 26-27 revenue budget of £43.6 million for the Directorate of Corporate Resources. For this portfolio, there is a budget of £1.8 million before savings. The Directorate has been given a 25-27 savings target of £1.5 million, with a year 2 allocation of £717,000. This represents the second year of the savings programme, and just to confirm, there is no additional savings been allocated as part of the process for 26-27. Section 4 of this report outlines the savings programme and sets out the options requiring approval for year 2, identified through executive cabinet members, of which there are no options remaining for this portfolio. For 26-27 capital programme, the Directorate of Corporate Resources is £15.5 million. There's no capital programme for this portfolio within the Directorate of Corporate Resources. This report seeks approval to maintain funding for local welfare provision at the current budgeted level of £400,000 for 26-27, alongside the associated staffing and administration costs. The report also requests approval to continue the Council's discretionary funding for a local council tax reduction fund in 26-27 at the existing budgeted level of £400,000. An amendment to the budget was approved as part of the council meeting in February, related to £1.3 million of one-off funding to be received from GM Waste. Of this, £500,000 was allocated to Stronger Communities to be distributed equally across wards at £25,000 per ward through the area forums. The Executive Cabinet member is asked to note the contents of the report and approve the recommendations set out in section 12 that relate to this portfolio. I'm happy to take any questions.
Unmuted now. So if I ask anybody to indicate if they want to ask any questions before we approve and recommend the report.
There's nobody indicating, Councillor Jeevan?
No, I was just trying to flick through the screens just to double check. On that basis, please can we approve and recommend for approval? Janet, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You agree the report, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that piece is done, and I will now then go on to Andrea and Callum regarding the procurement of translation and interpretation services. What I will ask again, colleagues, that we will go through the report that will be provided by both, and then if we can keep the questions to the end, if that's okay. Thank you. So over to yourselves, please.
Good evening, everyone. We're here tonight to seek approval to begin the re-tender process for the translation and interpretation contract. The contract was last tendered in November 2022 and is due to expire in December 2026. We would like to move to a framework of several providers, which gives a wider pool of providers and more flexibility in delivery. The proposal of how the framework will work is that it will be open for up to 8 years. It will reopen on the 3rd year with an option to review annually to the 8th year to allow for new providers to come onto the framework and maybe existing providers to move off the framework. There will be 2 lots initially with 3 providers per lot, which means that there will be up to 6 providers in total. The first lot will be interpretation with British Sign Language, and the second lot written translation. We have been working with the procurement team and will continue to work with them regarding the procurement process. And we are in the process and will continue to engage with council departments in relation to the design of the specification and rollout of the programme and the training. And we'd like to open up now to any questions.
Any indications, any questions, observations, etc., feedback, please?
No one's indicating, Councillor Jeevan?
I'll give everybody a couple of more seconds. Okay, I'm just trying to flick through to the recommendation page and now it doesn't want to let me in. So please, Ian, could you just, or Andrea, read out the recommendations as set out so we know exactly what we're approving, please, for.
Just bear with me a moment.
Thank you.
Finding my spot as well.
Just decided to not let me budge my.
So the Executive Cabinet member is recommended to, first of all, approve the establishment of an open framework for translation and interpretation services available for a total of 8 years from award of the first framework in the scheme. To delegate authority to the Director of Corporate Resources to approve the framework setup and the necessary contract awards under the framework, and to authorise the Borough Solicitor to complete the necessary legal formalities.
Brilliant, thank you. And just to know, colleagues, when I did have this come to my informal, we did discuss where the demand setting is around the organisation and who do we lean on, and also looking at internal staff to support as well, you know, in specialist areas and front door services, etc. So we have looked at things like this, and the questioning has opened up for myself as well, just to reassure individuals that this is the best option to go down, and obviously looking at where the need and the demand is, that we could see where the patterns and trends are coming in and what avenue that's coming in. And if you did need that breakdown, we can share that with yourselves if needed. Is that all right? Okay, so can we approve, seeing as there's no questions, approve the executive decisions as laid out on the recommendations and what Andrea's read out for us? Thank you.
Okay, that's agreed.
Brilliant. Any other business or any questions? So before we finish, please can I say a big thank you to Amy Cowan, councillor, who is not standing up for re-election but has contributed and supported us through the journey of as a shadow cabinet for this particular portfolio, and given us some decent motions at full council around PAT meetings, etc. So thank you for your contribution, support, and I wish you all the best on behalf of the group. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Rabia. I really appreciate that, and thank you to everybody for all the support along the way. I've really appreciated it, and the best of luck to all and any of you here who are standing in May. Hope your campaigns are going really, really well. Good luck.
Brilliant. Well, stay in touch and look after yourself. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening. Thank you.
Bye.